Welcome to the Rock Music Alliance interview sessions. I'm your host, Cole Coleman. On our show today, a still rising artist, a singer, songwriter, pianist, working in what I call the alternative pop noir area of music. Welcome to our show, Aro Rose.
Hi.
Aro, how would you describe your music style and what influences have led you there?
So I would probably describe it as sort of like a dark pop in a way, something sort of like that. I was really influenced by Adele. I love Adele. I love Lana Del Rey. So I really a lot of my music starts on piano and then I kind of like incorporate different sounds and kind of go from there. But I would say it's like a dark pop
Yeah,
sort of
I
thing.
like noir. It's alternative pop noir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I sort of see it, which is kind of more my style than like your typical like more contemporary pop.
Yeah,
So,
it's very cool. It's very cool. It just gives me a feeling of depth to it. Like I enjoy it. It's not all just surface and stuff. It feels like there's depth there. And
mm.
yeah, when was your first music release, and was it an album or a single?
It was in well, it started with the single Damaged. I did that, I believe back in like 2021 or 2022. And then I released my album Damaged, which was really cool, but I would say Damaged was my favorite song on the whole album. And it was really cool. We had like an acoustic guitar solo in it and the piano was really cool. So I got to perform that at a concert and I performed it a couple of times in New York City, which was really fun. So yeah, Damaged was definitely like a really important moment in my life at the time. So
Can you describe like why was it such an important moment?
I was so young when I wrote the song. I think I was like around 18. So I was in college. I started dabbling more in music, getting more serious about it. Went through a lot of experiences, saw a lot of people going through things. So, Damage was just kind of like one of those songs that I felt like a lot of people could relate to because it's basically about acknowledging that you're going through something painful, but you're still going to get through it and carry on. So it definitely resonated with a lot of people. And it was cool because I had a lot of people like emailing me and like DMing me and sending me their stories and telling me about the things that they were going through in their life. And I just thought it was really sweet that that song did resonate with so many people in their own different way, which I thought was really cool
Yeah,
and special.
that's what I'm talking about. Your music, it reaches in a little bit. It's not all on the surface or just having a good time. It reaches into your soul a little bit, and that's why it's so terrific when you write a song that does resonate with people, and
Mhm.
it really can make a difference in people's lives. So, like you say, they can relate to it, and it helps them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, I was actually shocked at the response and people being like okay with telling me their story or like being able to open up and being vulnerable and telling me the things that they were going through and how Damage definitely like helped them or they were listening to the song through like a really hard time. And I was just like, wow, music really does bring people together. Music's super fun, but it could also have a really deep meaning too and connect people and bring people together, which I think is really cool. And that's probably really why I love doing music the most, is being able to connect with people.
And there's nothing like it. When you're on stage singing and performing, and you can usually feel it when you're connecting, and it's just
Yeah.
just one of the greatest feelings that there is. I see that you were signed at one point to Parliament Records for a little
Mhm.
while and then left. What happened?
I was. So I just had turned 18. So I was, still a baby, basically. And I did get signed with the label here out in LA. But it was a lot of work. I loved it. They helped me do my album Damaged, but the contract wasn't the best contract, actually. And so I kind of was thankfully enough got out of it. They were gonna basically take like 50% of everything I made for the rest of my life. So I was just like, you know what? I think I owe myself a chance to just try it independently. And then maybe if something happens in the future, it happens in the future. But I think I just owed it to myself to kind of just, it was the first time starting out. So I was just like, I really need to probably just do this on my own, see where it goes, have, what I want to do creatively. I can have that direction that they weren't really allowing me to have. So, I just had a vision and they weren't really complying with it. So just, cut ties and have been independent ever since.
Gotcha. And I've heard this kind of thing before from artists. You always got to be really careful with those with the record company contracts.
Me
You know,
too.
on the flip side, uh, it amazes me, how does any record company make any money anymore? With the way things are, like where do they
I
get their
don't
money?
know.
And
Yeah.
I've yeah, and I've heard things from artists like, well, they're going to take part of touring and merchandising, you know. So it's like on the flip side, you can see where it's really tough for them, I think. And yet
Yeah.
they're out there. I mean, right now, I mean, record companies are still in existence. They're still there. So, but yeah, I've
Yeah.
I've heard this kind of thing from artists before. Always gotta be careful.
You do. It's just not the same as it was, because today they basically want you to be established and already have tons of listeners and basically already have some sort of stardom. It's not like back in the day where it's like, record labels would go to clubs and bars and scout bands and they saw a really great band play and they would want to sign them. It's so not like that anymore. It's so different. And a lot of people are very successful now independently because of social media. It's like you don't really need a label when you're just starting out, because social media kind of basically does it for you.
That's an interesting thing, and you're absolutely true. Yeah, I'm seeing some
Yeah.
some YouTube stars out there that is amazing how many followers they've picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you could really do it on your own today, which is kind of a blessing and a curse because you do need to get started on your own, unlike, back in the day, a label would help start you, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just how the times are now.
Yeah. The one thing that we always need though, is promotional support.
Yeah,
Still got to get
100%.
out, still got to get out and tour. Someone's got to be able to pay for music videos. So you still need
Mhm.
promotional support. Speaking of the videos, your latest single is called Heal Me and features Chris
Mhm.
Wyse, bass player for the Hollywood Vampires, in the solo
Yes.
section. How did that come about? How did you meet Chris?
I met Chris through, it's actually funny. So I had met this actor, Jack O'Halloran, way back in the day, who he was actually gracious enough to help get me out of that really bad record deal I had. And then he ended up kind of mentoring me for a couple of years. He introduced me to my publicist, and I think I was about like 22, 21 or 22. They invited me to this fashion designer's house, Sue Wong, amazing fashion designer. She's super cool. They were like, "Hey, we want you to come to this event." And I was like, sure. I was so excited. I flew out to LA, got to meet a bunch of cool people, but one of them was Chris. So that was really fun. I got to meet Chris and other musicians, and it was really cool. And we just talked, and I've known him ever since. I think we're going on like almost 5 years now.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just a natural networking type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really neat. It was such a cool because I was so new to the industry and being in a room full of all these incredible musicians and like talented people and just like, living legends. I was just so overwhelmed and nervous. And but it was actually probably one of the best experiences of my whole life because, it was just such an amazing experience.
Well, the video for Heal Me really caught my attention because it looks more like the work of a filmmaker more than a music video maker. It has a whole story plot going on in it. And well, how
Mhm.
does how does the story that I'm seeing in the video relate to your song, and who made the video?
So I collaborated with my director, William Murray. He's really, really great. We've done all my videos together, but I did write the whole script. I did write the whole video. Um, and I did co-direct and everything. And I just had this vision of telling a story about these sort of monsters because Heal Me is about battling demons and battling yourself really in the end. That's why, there's that like little surprise in the end. But I just thought it would be very interesting to kind of show throughout the video what it's like to have demons or deal with those sorts of things, but really bring a face to it. So, like, you'll see a bunch of different things. Like, there's like a jealousy scene in the video, there's like lust, there's anger, there's like a bunch of different things that people battle in real life. But I thought it'd be interesting to portray it through vampires and these sort of like monsters. I thought it would be kind of interesting to do. And so that's kind of how I wanted it to be. And it turned out I mean, honestly better than I actually visualized it to turn out.
Well, let's take a sample look and listen.
Thanks.
Here's about a minute and a half or so of Aro Rose's video for her song "Heal Me," featuring Chris Wyse in the solo section area here on the Rock Music Alliance.
Love shouldn't be this hard to find, but I know these things take time. I try to be strong, but my life feels so wrong. I'm hurting inside, I'm trying to fight, but nothing here feels right. I'm broken, I'm hurting, I'm damaged because of you. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself. Please don't go, I need you to stay. I really wanna be okay. Feeling broken, so many words left Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself. Please come heal me, please come save me, please come help me from myself.
That was Aro Rose's new release, "Heal Me," on the Rock Music Alliance, featuring Chris Wyse. And joining us is Chris Wyse himself. How you doing, Chris?
Hey Cole,
That video is just so well done. I love looking
Thank
at it.
you.
It's kind of mesmerizing. I'm glued to watching it. Are the people in the video part of your music world, or where did you get the actors?
Yeah, so a lot of the people that were in the video are musicians themselves or in bands themselves, which was really cool that, they wanted to collaborate with me on the video. I thought that was really nice just to have the support of other musicians and them wanting to act was really cool. But a lot of them were my good friends and stuff. So it was really, really sweet to have everyone come together and, you know, they were so patient, very long days of filming and sitting around and working, and the fact that they all wanted to do that and really were very serious about it was really sweat of
Well,
all of them. So.
some of those guys look so cool, as vampires.
They do.
They look really authentic. So wondering if they were like part of the vampire community. Did you get these guys at what's that ball called, the Forever Night, ball that happens every year?
Yes, yes, yes. I think we're gonna actually be attending that in February.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. It's a natural for you guys. And Chris,
Hmm.
that solo is so cool. In
Thank you.
this, yeah, it's really neat. Yeah, tell me about playing bass in that song. Did you do just the solo section or more?
Well, I'm playing more simple bass throughout the song and adding just a little bit of swelly slides and stuff from the upright. The middle of the song, that was like the first thing that popped in my head when I heard the song. Like she said, we met at a party and then we stayed in touch. And then I happened to be in New York City this past summer, and she was like, "Would you play on my song?" And
Hmm.
I had my electric upright bass with me, and I listened to it. And I went, this is good. I want to play on this. This is really cool. And the solo section, I instantly like, it's funny how the first thing you hear, it's like, that's what I did. And I'm like, that's what I think it should be. But I was open and just brought it into the studio.
Yeah, it was great.
We're in Penthouse Studios in Manhattan, and just she kind of lit up, and I knew to just go for it. And she was like, keep going, keep going, keep going. But I
Yeah.
also played bass throughout the song to give it kind of a that fretlessy, chorusy kind of bass sound up against a keyboard bass, the lower synthy bass. And
Yeah.
then when we got back to LA, everyone was listening to it. I was bouncing it off friends, and they're like, "This is really good." And the sort of orchestral approach with the bow bits and things like that brought the song like into this more gothic space.
Hmm.
And she asked me for that. She said, I'm going to call Chris up and ask him to do something dark and moody. So that's where I went. And then she added the acting intro and ending credits to the video. So then we went over to Nightbird Studios at the Sunset Marquee here in Hollywood. And we basically improved and came up with an intro. So you'll hear
Yeah.
her getting interviewed by the therapist, and where there's stuff going on in the background that's real moody, and that's upright bowed bass and her piano, big
Yeah.
grand piano that Elvis used to own.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really cool.
really cool. And then also the outro, I heard something for the outro or ending credits, and I was like, I
Yeah,
hear
you did
something
that
really
as well.
spooky with the spiccato, which is like bouncing the bow, the kind of
Mhm.
triplet, bim, ba-da-dum, bim, ba-da-dum. And I heard this piano line. I'm like, Arrow, get over there and play this piano line. I'm hearing something.
Yeah.
She just did it. So we work together very well. It's like
Yeah.
very spontaneous and fast, and just kind of this kind of pace in the studio, and we bounce off each other really well.
Mhm.
So when we got all this put together and finally saw the video, the first time I saw it was the night before at the studio at Nightbird. We were sort of detailing a couple things, and I remember being like, "Whoa, this is like it's like I entered a movie set more than a screen like
It really was like a movie. I really wanted that
it's all
cinematic
real.
approach.
There's no green screens or anything like that too. So then we had the premiere, which was really successful. I was very happy to have that like vampire themed premiere at the three clubs.
Tell me how that went.
Well, we had the red
It
carpet
was
lasted for a
great.
couple 2.5 hours or
An
something. People just
amazing
kept coming.
turnout. Like
Yeah,
I couldn't believe the amount of people. It was amazing. So many supportive people, and it was a great mix. Like the crowd was so great. All different sorts of people showed up.
that's what I really liked too. Was like we
Yeah.
had a young crowd and a
Young.
very like Hollywood staple
Yeah.
professional crowd. It was a really good mix of people.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a great night. It really was. The whole vampire thing was awesome, and everybody really went with the theme, which was super fun. And it was just such a great night.
Yeah, went off really big, and it's a fun way to introduce uh, yourself to Hollywood as a new artist, as opposed to just playing a show is great too, but having an event that you curate is a different thing. It was like an open bar and food, and we put together the night, and we had
Yeah.
Ryan Brown from Dweezil Zappa on drums, and Nolly Culp from Vintage Trouble on guitar, which funny enough, Hilmi has no guitar. So Nolly's was a genius at grabbing the keyboard bits and playing. He's so tasty. And
Yeah.
Ryan's such an amazing drummer that we played as a as a four piece, and she was on a grand piano at the club. So it was
Yeah, it was really
really like
cool.
authentic, but it was really fun to look out in the crowd and see all these faces done up as vampires too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and at least you guys are so well known enough that they'll come to your opening, you know, because
It's
that's
cool.
just like you said, that's a wonderful way to do it, you know, and you're absolutely right, you know, that using the bowed bass there really added this other dimension that, just like you said, it really pulls you into this kind of gothic, otherworldly
Oh
thing, you
yeah.
know. So man,
I
yeah, I think
layered that. Yeah, I
yeah.
layered that so it felt a little more orchestrated. Like there's like a left and right response with the bow, and I layered after I got the basic bits down, I layered it to thicken it up with some octaves and yeah, maybe some harmony. I kept no, maybe octaves, and it just made it sound really huge and wide. And it's amazing what a bow, the breathiness of the bow does to a song. It makes it feel orchestral. And then you lay a couple more layers with the piano, and we're looking at each other like, well, this sounds so huge. And it's not really that
It
much
is.
stuff.
Piano
Yeah,
sounds
I,
great
I
with
I think
me.
you're really onto something there, guys. Really, I hope you
Yeah.
can expand that idea. You know, I think you really touched on something. You know,
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great
yeah,
dynamic, and I really do think especially the upright bass and the piano sound really beautiful together. I mean, it really
Upright and
sounds so
piano. Yeah.
big.
And something about her voice has this genuine sort of hit you in the heart thing. And then that bow up against, there's something about all these qualities. It's kind of unexplainable, but there's a chemistry involved and all that.
yeah. I'm
Mhm.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's exactly right. You can't quite put a finger on it, but it does have a quality that draws you in. It's really something. You know,
It's just
it,
different enough. It's just different enough without being too left field. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It still kind of hits people in the center, and they're like, oh, easy to relate to.
in addition to your solo music, Arrow, it looks like you're doing a new duo with Chris. Can you tell us
Mhm.
about the duo?
Yeah, well, you know what? We're like, Heal Me went over so well. Let's collaborate on another song. And I think it'd be great to do something from scratch because I did already have Heal Me. I wrote that when I was about 19. So it was just kind of sitting in the archives for years, and I really wanted to do something with it, but I could never figure out what to do. So Chris was the perfect addition to it and completely took the song to a new level. But I think it'd be fun to just kind of create our own song, and we're already working on that, some cool piano stuff, some cool melodies, and keeping that dark sort of vibe, I think will be really interesting. We took some inspiration. We actually saw Frankenstein in New York City, and we're like, that's kind of trending now. It's very trendy. That whole gothic sort of thing is really coming back. So I think to do something along those lines will really resonate with people and be very interesting.
I heard that
Yeah.
movie was very good. I haven't seen it yet myself. I
So
meant to get out
good.
and seen it,
Oh,
but I heard it's
it's
really
it's
good.
very, very good. And the
Really good.
gorgeous stuff which could inspire a song. And so like if you listen to the intro and outro of Heal Me, that's kind of what we're feeding on, almost like a soundtrack element that I kind of brought in and said, like, what about this? What about that? And kind of
Yeah.
dressed it up a little. So the intro, she was just playing some piano. And I was like, that's it, do that, repeat that. And then we had the engineer and everybody just like, go, 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 go. And I'm like, let me add some stuff on top. And it went very fast
Yeah.
like that because it sounded like a soundtrack. So now we're kind of feeding off this like gothic thing again, maybe a little bit of inspiration from Frankenstein,
Yeah.
and putting together that even a little more goth, a little darker, but very beautiful. And we got kind of the framework of a new song up and
Yeah.
going already. So I would imagine next year we'll have something new.
I
Yeah.
think we want to maybe possibly start maybe like hosting a night at the three clubs you're talking about, doing that.
Right.
Something similar with like the vampire vibe because I feel like a lot of people enjoy that. So we might do some shows there, and I think it'll be really cool to bring people in LA together, and everyone loves that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So I
Oh
think we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
start
A
doing that.
theme night with some leaning into artistic kind of themes. I might have mentioned it in our last interview. I think we might lean into having a magician and a burlesque dancer and maybe food sponsorships and things like that to make it interesting. And, maybe instead of having like a huge array of musicians, maybe a little
Yeah.
tighter of a unit, maybe we're going to call up a bagpipe guy, or maybe we call up a violin person to be a guest. So tight
Something.
little unit with some really cool features in the night, and then another excuse for us to release a new song because we
Yeah,
do another premiere.
that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
plenty of room for it. I mean, it's we have Bar Sinister, and there's
We do. I
There's
want to perform
Wednesday's
at
night.
Bar Sinister.
Yeah, but there's room for more, and a different flavor too. Like I say, Bar Sinister is kind of a modern, current kind of flavor. Yours is more sound. It would be a little more gothic, sounding. So it's
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. Although
Right. I don't think we'd want to, I wouldn't make any rules, but
yeah,
it
yeah,
wouldn't be necessarily like a Nine Inch Nails metal sonic realm we're going for. We're going to stick with the piano and the upright.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let
And
let it
doesn't
just go where the creativity takes
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah. But you never know. Maybe there could be some bombastic stuff too.
It's just a silly thing popped into my head here, Chris. It's like maybe on one night for a moment you could get a, female cellist who could look like Wednesday and have a little cello duel. You and Wednesday.
Like a little
I don't know.
battle.
I'm gonna make sure my upright bass is louder than the cello for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
guys, let's take a short pause here for a word from my sponsor, and when we come back, we're going to
Okay.
ask Arrow about her early days, and just time for a few more questions about that. Okay, well, guys, we'll be right back. I'm Cole Coleman, asking you to join the Rock Music Alliance Patreon. When you join our Patreon, there's different stuff you'll get at different levels, and there's things in our store, so be sure to check that out. And you'll be helping us to continue to interview artists and industry people and put on our greatest event, the RMA Awards for rock, metal, and progressive rock music. So join the Rock Music Alliance Patreon. Attention guitar players, the Thimble Slide allows you to slide and fret, freeing your slide finger. The Thimble Slide is a mini guitar slide designed to be worn on the tip of your finger, about halfway down your fingernail. When worn there, you can still bend your finger, and most importantly, it's allowing enough of your fingertip through so you can still press the guitar strings. With its patented shape, you can slide and fret while wearing the Thimble Slide. Visit thimbleslide.com. That's thimbleslide.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Katie Daryl from the Top 10 Revealed, and you're listening to Rock Music Alliance.
We're back with Aro Rose on the Rock Music Alliance. Thanks again, Chris, for popping on there for a minute. It's great. We've got time for just a few more here. Aro, where were you born and raised?
I'm from Manhattan, New York. I'm a New Yorker. Lived in New York for quite some time. Then I moved to Ocean City, New Jersey, when I was 12, and I have lived there ever since before coming back to LA. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. That's how I got started on music was actually in Ocean City. That's where I met my producer, which was really cool. And he brought me into the studio and started sort of getting me in a more professional setting because I didn't really know at first. I would just record on my phone and, record things on piano, but I never had anything sort of professional. So he's really what kind of kicked off my career. So it was really a blessing moving to Ocean City. I probably would have never gotten started with music had I stayed in New York.
Well, Aro, like what drew you into music to start with? Like, why did you pick up piano playing?
My mom really always wanted me to play, and she got me a grand piano for my first birthday. That was my first birthday gift ever, was a grand piano. I think it's a Young Chang. I'm not sure. It's been in storage for like 15 years until I get a place to one day put it because it's so big. But yeah, I didn't really want to. I was very stubborn. I loved music, but I was a stubborn kid. So my dad started playing piano and taking lessons and just messing around with like a couple of chords, nothing crazy. And then I was like, hey, I want to play that. Like I was getting like competitive. I was like, I could play that better than you. I know I can. So I ended up, so he used that tactic because he knew I would be like sort of jealous that he was playing piano. So I started playing piano. And then I just, from there, I just kind of took off and turned it into a thing. And then it became a huge part of my life and started making music. And then it got more serious when I turned 18.
That's terrific. That's terrific. I want to touch on something a little delicate here. Also saw that your mother was one of the people tragically killed in the
Yeah.
9/11 terror attacks
hmm
at World Trade Center. Do you think that that had anything to do with drawing you into music more or your
Oh
songwriting
yeah.
or
Oh yeah, definitely like inspiration, partially for Damaged as well. And also just having that connection to music. She always wanted me to have a connection to music, which was really nice. So, having that there was such a great gift, having that piano and, always having that a part of my life. And as I got older, I appreciated it more and I wanted to study it more and get better at it. And there's a lot of inspiration that comes from, heartbreaking things. And like I said, being able to write something that people will also relate to that have gone through such, heartbreak and sad things in their life. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of inspiration from that. And
that's what I find with people as well. It's a natural thing when
Mhm.
something like that happens and you're a musician.
Yeah,
Writing songs and performing is cathartic, for
yeah,
yourself, but that's also what reaches in and touches people, like
yeah,
you've heard this. I've heard this said by multiple people, but it's so true. But like what comes from the heart
yeah.
will reach the heart,
Right. It's
and
true.
so yeah, so if it's deep within your soul and cathartic, it will also reach out and touch someone else and also be cathartic for them.
Yeah.
Sorry that that happened, but it's also helped craft you into a musician.
Right. Well, it's not necessarily all bad. I mean, you could take pain and you could let it destroy you and kind of fall apart, or you could take it and you could turn it into art. So I kind of chose, I'm not going to let this destroy me. If I'm going to do anything, I want to make something that's worthwhile and something like again taking that pain and showing people that you don't always have to fall apart. You could pull through and you could make something really beautiful and inspire other people. So I think it's, that whole turning pain into art, I think is great for music and great for anything in life. And, it's not an easy thing to do, but it's definitely worth it. And it's very fulfilling too. So I'm happy I went down that road.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, gonna wrap
Yeah.
things up here. Just a couple quick more. I also
Mhm.
saw that you studied acting at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film
Yeah.
Institute. Are you also still pursuing acting as well as music?
I want to. That was my original dream. That's what I've truly always wanted to do because, as a kid, I grew up in Manhattan and my dad would always take me to Broadway plays. I grew up going to Broadway, fell in love with acting, fell in love with cinema. I love movies, such an escape. So my heart's always been really, I want to act. So I did go to Lee Strasberg. I studied method acting. I started when I was in high school, which was really cool. Learned method acting, very interesting craft. And then I started dabbling in music, and that kind of took over. It started more as a hobby, and then it kind of turned into more once I got that record deal, and then I kind of put acting off to the side. But I would really love to do acting. That's like really what I really truly would love to do, but I would love to do both. I mean, they're both very artistic in their different ways, and that's why I wanted to incorporate some acting in Heal Me because I thought, why not join the two worlds and add music and make something pretty cinematic and add that sort of like acting feel and that movie feel. So I really wanted the two worlds to collide, and I think Heal Me is like the perfect representation of that.
You definitely achieved it. You achieved it in that
Thank
that
you.
music video. So I look forward to seeing more.
Thank
And
you.
and yeah, you can be a multifaceted artist, especially since music videos have become so prominent. I mean, you just have to be doing music videos now, and that gives you a
Oh
chance
yeah,
to act.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then one last thing I wanted to ask is, well,
hmm
from here, what is the next step for you as Aro Rose? You know, will there be more club performances, more releases, or do you want to get out and
Yeah.
tour?
Definitely in the new year. I'm definitely gonna do some more performances. I'm working on like 4 new songs, which is good. So maybe I'm gonna put together like a little EP, kind of take a little bit of a different direction than I did with my original album. But yeah, I have like 4 songs that I'm kind of halfway through. And definitely more performances in the new year, more music videos, try to make something more, keep dishing out those cinematic videos and, just kind of keep pushing along and see what happens.
Excellent. And I really hope you guys get that themed club off the ground. I take it you'll be performing there, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Me and Chris are gonna collaborate more. We're gonna work on some new songs as well. Definitely do the events at the 3 clubs and put together a night. So we definitely have a lot in store, which will be cool.
Sounds awesome. Well, Arrow, that
Thanks.
brings us to the end of our show today. People listening, you can keep in touch with Arrow at arrowrose.com. That's AROROSE.com. And of course, find her on social media. Arrow, thanks for being our guest
Thanks.
today on the Rock
Thanks,
Music
Cole.
Alliance.
Thank you.
I'm Cole Coleman, and for the Rock Music Alliance and the RMA Awards, thanks for watching and listening. Visit us at rockmusicalliance.com and check out this year's RMA Awards for rock, metal, and progressive rock music.